So today we're going to be looking at how to find reliable information on the internet and how to identify bias in the information that you find. The first thing that we're going to do is look at a worksheet that I have for you. Looks like this, and it's going to use what we call the 5 W's of journalism to examine and evaluate a website. The 5 W's are who, what, when, where, and why. So let's look at the questions related to the website. We want to know who created the page. We're going to look for an About Us section or some other way that the person who is responsible for the website is identified. We're going to look to see who wrote the actual content of the site, who wrote the actual article that we're looking at. We're going to look to see what qualifications the people have, and we're going to see if there's some contact information. If there's no contact information, it's a little shady because you want a physical address or phone number or an email or some way to contact people about the information that they put out there. Then what kind of information are you getting? Are there multiple points of view represented? Does the author use opinion words that are absolutes, such as always, never, least, greatest, best, worst, those kind of things that are just very extreme opinionated statements? Does the website contain any advertisements, or are they trying to sell you something? Then when was the article written? Is it up to date? Is there a date on the article or information, and has the website been updated recently? Then where is the web page located in cyberspace? For that, you would look at the URL and then refer to a handout that I have for you in Google. The URL is the Uniform Resource Locator Code, and there are some parts of it that tell you what sort of site it might be. .com refers to commercial sites, and that's to pretty much any independent person or business. .org refers to things like nonprofit organizations. .net has to do with internet service providers. Your email address might have a .net provider associated with it. .edu has to do with educational institutions, colleges, universities. .gov has to do with either the state or local government agencies. So take a look at that and tell me what that tells you about the site. And then ask yourself, why am I here? Why is that site published? Is the person's intent just to share information, to entertain, to persuade you about something, to sell something, or some combination of all of those things? So that's what we're going to use to evaluate a website. So let's go to where I would like you to start in finding a website. I want you to go to a spot called procon.org. This website is developed specifically to provide information about both the for and against sides of some controversial issues. There's a whole list of different things you can look at. So when I turn you loose to do this on your own, you can choose any of these that strikes your fancy. I am personally kind of into the education topics, so I'm going to choose this one because I like technology and it's about tablets versus textbooks. So I'm going to choose that. All right, now that we've gotten that far, let's go ahead and fill in some parts of the worksheet. You're going to be working with a partner, so put your partner's name and your name on the worksheet. And then your topic, my topic is tablets versus textbooks. And the website we'll find in a minute. So when you get onto your Procon site and you choose a topic, this is what it's going to show you. It's going to give you some basic information about the site or about the topic, and then it's going to list the top pro and con arguments, the top for and against arguments. Well, I'm already for technology in the classroom, so it might be good if I took a look at the other side, and so I'm going to look at the con side and read more. I want you to do just the same thing. Take a look at the page and just scroll right on down to the pro and con and pick either the pro or con side and check out that blurb. Within the blurb, you're going to find these little blue numbers. Those actually are links to what you will find in their footnotes and sources page. That will lead you to specific pieces of information or resources that they use to write the article. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to this last one here, 22. And that's going to take us right here to Dean Fishman's article, Neck Pain from Texting, from the Text Neck Institute website. So what you're going to do is copy and paste this reference into a new tab in your address book. I couldn't copy and paste that myself on the smartboard, so I did that before. So here's my search results, and I'm just going to go with the first article that's in the list. Again, that's exactly what I want you to do. And here I am at this site. It's titled Neck Pain, and there's the article Neck Pain from Texting. So now we need to put the website URL or name or name here. I really would like the URL so that I can find it again. So you can copy and paste that. Again, I can't really do that on the smartboard, but there we go. And now we're just going to kind of cruise around and look for the answers to these questions. Most of your answers are going to be around the edges of the page, so let's just kind of take a look around and see what we have already. Well, here's the article. We found that, and the title and some other stuff, but here we have the byline. That's who actually wrote the article, so that's one of our questions. Who wrote this? L. Matthews. Now, there's something weird about that. There's no space in between the L and the Matthews. And sometimes, you know, just not having everything all tight and correct is a red flag about the reliability of your source, potentially. Let's see, and there's a date. It says it was written November 10th. Let's see, that's down here under when was it written? Or November 2nd, 2010, sorry. Whoops. And let's see, this is the article. There's a lot of advertisements on there, but there's a lot of advertisements everywhere these days. There's some nice technical drawings and some research and other information. So it looks like this is probably a serious site as opposed to a humorous or parody, satire, or ironic site. So we're going to say it's probably serious. Okay, so I think that's about all we can get from, well, let's keep going. Mobile app, make an appointment. Well, let's see. That would tell me that he's looking for you to do something. He's kind of selling you something, making an appointment. There's a case study. There's some information, contact information, his office hours. Okay, so I would go back up here, starting from where we were. He wants you to make an appointment, and he has his office hours on there. So I'm going to say that he's trying to get you to make a doctor's appointment. So that's that, but there's a lot of contact information here. It really does have, he has a phone number, an email contact form, and he also has his physical address and phone number. So, you know, he's a legitimate doctor, I think, based on all that. So we can say there's email, physical address, and phone number. And so now we still have to figure out who's in charge of this website. We look up here all the way up. Okay, that's the article, but here we have these three lines generally mean that there's a menu. So let's check that out. And there's no specific about us in these menu choices, but the top one is Meet Dr. Fishman. So that makes it seem to me like this is his site. So who's identified? I'm going to say Dr. Fishman. And there's another question. And then we need to find out what his qualifications are. So we'll just scroll on down here. Email tells you about all his education and awards and associations, achievements, his participation in the community. So let's see. He went to chiropractic school and he also has a degree in exercise sports science. So those are his two main qualifications. He's a chiropractor and he has a sports medicine degree or sports science degree. What else do we have? Are there multiple points of view? Are there opinion words? You'd have to read the article to tell that. I won't do that now, but when you get to your website, you can find that. Has the website been updated recently? Well, it's hard to say. If you look down here, the copyright date is 2017 on the whole website, so it potentially was updated, but just that copyright date doesn't mean that other things on the site have necessarily been updated, but it's just good to know. And then if we look at the URL, you're going to see that for this one we have textneck.com. So it's a .com, so we know it's a commercial site. And then overall we have to make a judgment. Why was the site published, and what is his purpose? Well, I would say he's providing us with information. He's a doctor and he's knowledgeable, so he is providing information. But it's not purely as a public service. He's doing it as an advertisement to get people to make an appointment with him. So he is informing us and he wants you to make an appointment. And there you have it. I think that does it for this form, except I didn't get to fill in those pieces about the article, but you can do that because you'll have time to read, I hope. And there you go.